When I first started woodworking, I made it my mission to do everything by the book. I did exactly what everyone tells you to do in woodworking. I followed the rules, step by step, without cutting any corners. Every safe, recommended best practice rule people swear by, I made sure to learn them, understand them, and put them into practice every single time I entered the workshop. I read manuals cover to cover, watched countless tutorials, and even took notes on the most important safety guidelines. I wore all the right protective gear, kept my workspace clean and organized, and always double-checked my measurements before making a single cut. I wanted to build a strong foundation, not just for the sake of safety but also to develop good habits that would serve me well as I improved my skills. It wasn't just about avoiding mistakes or injuries, it was about respecting the craft and the generations of woodworkers who came before me. By following the rules, I hoped to honor their legacy and set myself up for success in every project I tackled. And I almost ruined a perfectly good project. This started as a simple build, nothing experimental, something any homeowner would actually use. So I slowed everything down, measured twice, then measured again, just to be safe. That's when the first problem appeared. The more I rechecked, the more my reference points shifted. At first it seemed like a simple process, measure twice, cut once as the old saying goes. But as I measured and remeasured, I started to notice something subtle happening. Each time I placed the tape measure or the square, the numbers seemed to change ever so slightly. Maybe it was the angle of my eye, the pressure of my hand, or even the way the light hit the wood. Tiny differences stacked up, almost invisible at first. But they were there. A millimeter here, a fraction there, and suddenly, the line I thought was perfect was just a little off. I realized that every reference point, every mark, every edge, wasn't as fixed as I believed. The more I tried to chase perfect accuracy, the more elusive it became. It was as if the act of checking itself introduced new errors, and suddenly, perfect accuracy wasn't so perfect anymore. In woodworking, as in life, sometimes you have to accept that perfection is a moving target. Next came clamping. I clamped everything hard, even pressure, no gaps, exactly like every tutorial says. And that's when the joint stopped behaving. What should have been a simple connection between two pieces of wood suddenly became a battle of wills. The wood, once pliable and eager to fit, now resisted every nudge and push. I pressed the pieces together, but the stubborn joint refused to budge, creaking in protest. The glue, meant to be the silent partner in this union, clung to the surface in thick, unyielding beads, refusing to spread smoothly into the crevices where it was needed most. My hands, usually so sure and steady, began to tremble with frustration as I tried to coax the pieces into alignment. I had strength, but no forgiveness. Every attempt to force the joint only made things worse, threatening to splinter the delicate wood fibers. I paused, sweat beading on my forehead, and realized that sometimes, no matter how much force or determination you bring, the materials have a mind of their own. In that moment, I learned that patience and understanding are just as important as strength in woodworking. The joint, it seemed, was teaching me a lesson in humility and respect for the craft. Then came jigs. I used jigs for almost every cut, because jigs equal safety, right? Except when the jig locks you into a mistake you didn't notice. At this point, the project still looked fine. That's the scary part. Nothing failed loudly, nothing snapped, but alignment drifted, stress built up quietly, and fixing one safe decision caused another problem somewhere else. That's when it hit me. You know, rules aren't really instructions, they're more like warnings, honestly. Measure twice isn't about, measuring more often. It's actually about measuring at the right moment. Clamping isn't just about pressure, it's really about control. Jigs aren't about safety, they're about repeatability. And you know, repeatable mistakes are still mistakes. The project survived, barely. But it taught me something important. Blindly following rules doesn't make you safer. Understanding why the rule exists does. Woodworking isn't about obedience, it's about judgment, and that's something no rulebook can teach you.